I'd now request everyone to please let me take the opportunity of inviting Mr. Nick Booker on stage, founder, Indigenous. Mr. Booker, ladies and gentlemen, has been living and working in India for over a decade, teaching students from around the world about innovation in India. Mr. Booker frequently speaks at universities and conferences across the world. You know, in January, he's leading the New Zealand Prime Minister's Scholarship for Asia Tour of India. Please welcome Mr. Booker, everyone, with a huge round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening and Sat Sri Akal. It's so lovely to see all of you here, and it's really, really a grand day for us to host you post-COVID. We know we've all gone through this COVID time. It was really, really tough time for all of us, but one clan or one set of people were holding it together were the educators. So in a way, Burlington today gets this as a tribute to the educators for doing such a wonderful job. Big round of applause from all of you, for all of you. This is also a way of saying that, is there a way we can create a Burlington corridor? See, in school, all of us talk about the maximum learning happens in the corridor. And the kids are outside the classroom talking to each other, experiences. So we decided to put this as a Burlington corridor, very light, spend some time together, have a little bit of music, enjoy yourself, connect with each other, get to learn what's really happening, pre-post and now post-COVID. With me today also have my friend Nick, and Nick and I go a long way. Nick runs a very successful company, but he's also the one who really setting up something which is very, very unique within India, outside India, India and world together. And I was talking to him in the morning, and he's saying that, perhaps his knowledge of India and Punjab is really, really collectively more than many of us have the information. So welcome, Nick. Yes, a good round of applause. I decided to put this slide because I think all of us here, educators, we talk about education, we talk about teaching, we talk about learners, we talk about present and future. And legacy has a very positive connotation for us, for us as an educators. Legacy is what you are leaving for your children. Legacy is what you are known for. Legacy is what your identity is. Legacy is what you really create. But for educators, legacy is much beyond this. But before I talk about educators' legacy, let me give you a little bit of my own introduction, give you a little bit of trust. Who am I to talk about legacy? This is me. Studied in a small government school. That is my 10th and the 12th board. Did my undergrad in DU. There is a logo of DU. Did my postgrad in JNU. Master's MBA from Kellogg. Another master's from Cambridge. So this slide is not so much so about me as who am I. This slide is about the trust. Each of these sign which you see here is a symbol of trust. Whether you talk about JNU, Kellogg, Cambridge, while I've done my study there, but this is also where leaves so much of trust in you that you take it away and say, this is where my children should go. This is really what should be my future. So for educators, it is about trust, it is about passion, it is about really believing what you're doing, and it is about leaving something which really makes a real legacy of your institution, of your school, or of your anything which you're running which has a real impact on those children is really where you start relating to. And therefore, that element of trust is at the core of what you create. And clearly, that's what really my experience been going through each of these institutions myself. Today, we are here to talk about the topic is Tune into Future. We're going to talk about India's story, how India and Punjab's story, how India is going global and how global is coming to India, or globe is coming to India. We're going to talk about citizens of future. What is it which we are looking? So the class 1 student today in 2022 in 2034, when they graduate from the school, what is the future? We'll try making some effort to see, is there something which we see which is really resonates with us? We know some of these data, we know some of these are familiar. We'll try making some effort. Also see what is it which we are trying or what is it which we should try. Make an effort to say, is there a way that we can catalyze and bring that transformation? That's really how we're going to spend some time, about roughly 35, 40 minutes. I know there's a music. I know all of us are excited about that. And I know the purpose of this session is to celebrate that moment of COVID and the stress we have gone there. Believe me, these are just an icebreakers. Take it as it is, but these are information we can really help and talk about within that Burlington corridor or wherever we are. I think the first one which I said, India to global or global to India, and I've been thinking about it, is that who could talk about that and who could tell us best about it other than Nick, my friend. So with this, I will hand over the first one, which is from Punjab to the world to Nick Booker. Over to you, Nick.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ratnesh. Wonderful. Thank you to all of you for the opportunity to be here. Good evening, Sat Sri Akal. I first came to Jalandhar. I've been sitting there thinking, when did I first come to Jalandhar? It was 15 years ago. It was 2007. So I was 27 years old. And I grew up in the UK, as you might be able to tell from my accent. And I had this sense, sitting out there in the UK, that actually the future was here in India. And I had never been to India, I'd never backpacked, I'd never traveled, I'd never come on holiday with my family, I had no connection with India. But I just had this sense from everything that I was reading that the 21st century was the Indian century. And that it would be interesting for me to come and explore. So I came here, thank you. I came here and I literally, one of the first places I came to was Jalandhar. And I had a lunch in Haveli on GT Road. The Radisson Hotel. I think I met some people in Jack Daniel's bar. Is that still there? Does anyone know Jalandhar? Yes? someone knows that place. So I came here. Now, my relationship with Punjab took a real twist a couple of years after that. So I had already decided India's the future. I then worked all over this wonderful country. I'd settled in Delhi, and I met a Punjabi girl. And we had Anand Karaj in 2010, so we got married, and my daughter is now proudly British, Punjabi, British, but she's far more Punjabi than she is British. She's an absolute firecracker, pataka, and she's in Delhi, and she's 7 years old now. So I have a 7-year-old daughter, Punjabi daughter here. Now, I am very, very relieved when Ratnesh very kindly said, would you like to come to Jalandhar? I said, yes. What is it for? I didn't know, but he just said, would you like to come to Jalandhar? And then I asked, what's the date? And I'm so glad it wasn't yesterday. Why? How many of you were fasting yesterday for Karva Chauth? Look at this. Two Dilliwalas fasting for our wives. That's what's going on in Delhi now. So yes, I was fasting yesterday, even Ratnesh was. And I had a tough day. I was like, Hamara Chand Kidare. But we saw the moon, we broke our fast, and then I got to come up here. So I'm really glad that we're doing this today. Now, a little bit of why Ratnesh kindly asked me to speak to you is that we have something in common. This gentleman here is my father in the center here, Christopher Booker. And sadly, he died just before COVID in 2019. And I have an excuse, as you're about to find out, for showing this family photograph with all of you. And that's because the gentleman and the lady to his right, over here, John Booker, my grandfather, and Margaret Mary Weston, Margaret Peggy Booker, in the center there, they founded a school, like many of you. So my grandma was actually born in Nainital, here in India. And John and Peggy established a school, like many of you did, and it's still going. So here, 72 years later, is their school in England. I mean, how English does this look? My grandmother designed the uniforms, these red dungarees. This is the house that they rented from the Crown Estate to establish the school. And Knighton House was established as a school in 1950. Here are children still wearing that uniform, and the values that my grandparents had, their values of nurturing the children as if they were part of a family, their connection with nature, with farming, with the environment, and with music, and with the arts, has remained 70 years later, and this is now one of the leading K-8 prep schools in the United Kingdom. Now, I myself have also followed in their footsteps as an educator, in the sense that, as Ratnesh said, for the last 10 years, my Punjabi wife, Meetu, and myself, and now our 7-year-old daughter, have been doing this. We've been taking groups of students from all around the world, around India. So British students, Americans, New Zealanders, Australians, and we show them what an extraordinary country you are lucky to call home. And here's a group of 100 plus students at the Lotus Temple, as you'd remember, in Delhi. And there's my daughter and myself having a bit of fun exploring some electric rickshaw project with Tata. And here we are in Bangla Sahib Gurdwara learning about Langar and Seva and some of the values that you have that they can learn so much from. I'd like to do a little quiz with you now. So can we switch over to the screen that I've got here, please? So can you all get your phones out? So if you get your phones out and you go on to this website, kahoot.it, kahoot.it, or if you scan that QR code and you type in this number, 9672866, you will be able to join this, and we do have prizes, so this is worth doing. There's going to be 5 questions. The faster you answer them, the more points you get. And once you log in and give yourself a name, we'll be able to... Well done, Robin. Robin's already gets an extra point for being the first one in. So I'll give you a minute or two to sign in. Pfizer, fantastic. So during COVID, I'm sure a lot of you have been innovating with technology, using games, using mobile apps or tablets, websites, and it has proved to be a really good way of increasing the engagement and the interactivity with the students. So let's all have some fun now. Okay, so we got Charu in there, Kartik, awesome, Shalu, Damini, Taj, Falak. Brilliant. Pooja? Okay, I'm going to get started. So we've got 5 questions, and if you haven't logged in, you can shout out the answers. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, gosh, you're all coming in fast now. 18. Okay, I'm going to give it 10. No! Well done. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Okay, here we go. So this is just a fun quiz, 5 questions. And the first question is, faster you answer it, the more points you get. First question is, 5,000 years ago, where was the world's largest civilization centered? Was it in Iraq, Egypt, China, or Punjab? Good shout. Well done. Okay, so, oh gosh, some of you were very kind to Egypt, but yes, the answer is Punjab. Punjab, Indus, Saraswati, Harappa, biggest civilization in the world, trading with the whole of the Mediterranean and the Arab world from here. Okay, well done, Robin. You're fast to sign up and fast to do this. Okay, next up is a true or false question. India has a larger economy than the UK. Is that true or false? Is it true or false? Well done, you're answering it very quickly. Well done, everybody said true. Yes, finally, rightly, India now has a larger economy than the UK as of this year. Okay, here's an interesting one coming up. True or false? India has a larger population than China. India has a larger population than China. True or false? Wow. Most of you got that wrong. This year, 2022, India has overtaken China. You are now citizens, I'm presuming most of you are citizens, I'm an OCI, so I'm an overseas citizen, of the country that has the largest population in the world. India's overtaken China. And that is a good thing because people are wonderful and children are fantastic and we are very lucky that we have big families and this country is growing. And don't let anyone ever say anything to the contrary. This is going to be true for the rest of the 21st century. India is always going to be larger than China. India is always going to have more people, and the gap is going to grow and grow and grow. And that means a younger population, which means more people working, more people going into schools, more entrepreneurship. It's a good thing. Okay, Robin, I'm afraid Karan and Indrapreet have overtaken you now. So well done, Karan. You're up in the front. Okay, 2 questions left. So this one is for you to type in. So what do you think? Thank you for adjusting that. What do you think are the single most important skill that your students need to succeed? So I'm sure we're all going to have different answers here. But let's see what you come up with. What are the different skills? What's the single most important one of them for your children to succeed? So this is for us to learn what you think. I'm interested. Okay, wow, what's this one in here? Efficiency in subject, entrepreneurship, focus, open to learning, communication skills. Exactly. I couldn't have put it better myself. So it's clear that the number one in this room skill that we all agree on, or the majority of us agree on, is communication skills. And all of these other ones are also incredibly important. Right, and our final question is, and this one's a tricky one. I tested this on the Burlington team, and let's see how well you do. Okay, final question is, what proportion of Indians speak English fluently? What proportion of Indians speak English fluently? And I'm presuming that almost all of you in this room are part of this group. It's just 4%. So amazingly, most of you went for more than 24%, but it's actually just 4% of Indians. So 96% of Indians do not speak English fluently, which is a pretty extraordinary statistic. Okay, so we're now going to have the final leaderboard. We've got 3 prizes. Are they here? We're going to do that afterwards, but we'll announce. Okay, we'll switch back to this. Can we switch back to the presentation, and then when we get the prizes, we'll present them at the end of the session with the leaderboard. So I've got the answers here as to who's won. See if Karan and Inderpreet held on to the lead, and we'll announce that shortly. Okay, so I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about Punjab and how Indians' relationship with the world and their relationship with success has changed over the millennia. Harmandir Sahib, where I very fortunately was able to visit again this morning. Okay, so here's a map of the world, and what I'm going to show you is where this economic center of gravity is. So if you think of all of the trade that goes on in Europe, all of the trade that goes on in China, in India, where statistically is that center of that activity? 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, so back in the ancient period, the center of economic gravity in the world was here, where we are right now. This was the economic center of gravity. This is from the London School of Economics, this research. So up until 2,000 years ago, this was the center of gravity. China was an enormous economy, the Indian subcontinent was an enormous economy, and Europe was pretty big, but most of the rest of the world had very low population, very little activity. By 1500, 500 years ago, that economic center of gravity had shifted towards the west. The Renaissance in Europe, Istanbul, the rise of the Mediterranean economies, yeah? And the mindset that I had, and I'm sure many of you had growing up, was one where that economic center of gravity was associated with the West, with Europe, with Britain, with America, with Canada. And that's because in the Industrial Revolution, in 1910, in 1940, all the way through, the economic center of gravity was shifting from here across towards Europe and then towards America because of the rise of America. Now, what's fascinating is that since 1940, i.e. in all of our lifetimes, all of us in this room, it's actually been shifting back eastward the whole time, coming towards Japan, Korea, Vietnam, China, and most recently in the last 10, 20 years, India. So by 2000, it had already come back this way. By 2015, it had reached here. And by 2035, so in just 12, 13 years' time, the economic center of gravity is going to be back here again. So statistically, the story of the last 2,000 years is about power, wealth, and the economy of the world shifting westwards and then returning eastwards here. And we saw how this civilization, Punjab, Indus, Sarasvati, Sindh, was the largest civilization. Now, when people like the Sunak family grew up, they thought opportunity didn't lie necessarily in Punjab or Sindh or in Africa, but lay in the UK or in Canada or in the US. So the Sunak family went to the UK as immigrants. And they set up a business, they set up a pharmacy. And they spent every penny they had on the education of their son. Do you know who this is? Rishi Sunak, exactly. So this wave of immigration and education story from Punjab to the world is one that ends up with education happening in England to improve the opportunities of this young boy, who then goes on to become Chancellor of the Exchequer of the United Kingdom and nearly becomes Prime Minister this summer. And everybody in the UK wishes he became Prime Minister now, because they're fed up with the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss. So the biggest mistake Britain's made in the last few years was not having Rishi Sunak as the Prime Minister. And here he is, first Indian to be Chancellor of the Exchequer and nearly the first to become Prime Minister. Now, the second wave of immigration, okay, so the first one was becoming pharmacists, running shops, investing in your education of your children abroad. The second wave was education happening here in India. Yeah? So it was in India, in the IITs, in Manipals, where Indians were getting such a good education that they were able to then travel abroad on H-1B visas and become software developers, computer systems analysts. And that's why, look at that, 280,000 Indians on H-1B versus just 50,000 Chinese. So the education in India became so good that the educated Indian could be the export rather than just the hard work and discipline of the previous generation. And all of these Indians have that in common. All of these CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, these Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, these amazing leaders of the world are Indians who were educated in India. So they were exporting what all of you in this room are providing: education, skills, mindset, worldview, and look at the success that they've gone on to. So people like Ajay Banga became CEO of MasterCard, took home $20 million salary pay packet a couple of years ago. But there's another story, a newer story of the last 10 years. And that's not just the educated Indian traveling abroad with the knowledge that you've given them, but it's them then applying it to business in India and then exporting the product, the service, to the world. So these, does anyone know who these guys are? Bansals. These are Bansals who set up Flipkart, which the Americans, Walmart, had to buy for $16 billion. So we have, yeah, it is amazing. So the Sunak family travel abroad, get education for their son. Then the Ajay Banga and that generation, Sundar Pichai, they become educated, they go abroad to work for the foreign company. And now it's the Indian company built here that is now going global. And I'm speaking next week for the UK-India Business Council because Ola, Bhavesh Agarwal's Ola, has invested $100 million in the UK in manufacturing electric vehicles. So now we have the Indian startups, youngsters, going global with their businesses. And that's why India is overtaking the UK as the 5th biggest economy. And because India's population is going to be larger than China, and look at that difference over the course of the next 5-10 years, widening and widening. That means young people are constantly being produced in this country. That means that in your children's lifetime, the students at your schools, it's not the White House that's setting the agenda. It's not Western civilization that is going to be the influence of their career aspirations and their immigration and so on. And it's not going to be listening to Chinese companies. It's going to be Indian civilization, the Indian economy, the Indian innovation and creativity that is going to be the future for their careers, their prosperity, their lives, and finding the solutions to all of the problems that the world faces. And rather than having a mindset that education is like an escalator, where you take your class 10th, you take your 12th, you get into university, you go and do a master's, it's a very clear-cut escalator, you just do this, and then this, and then this. I think the visual metaphor for what you need to prepare your students for in the 21st century, in the 2030s, in the 2020s, is actually something unique to India, which is the Bauli, the stepwell. How many ways are there to get from the bottom to the top? Yeah? How many different education paths, how many different subjects, how many different software skills, how many different soft skills, how many different online courses, bite-sized modules. There is so much choice, both in terms of careers, in terms of opportunities, and in terms of routes to get there, that you have to learn to be the guides that help them navigate and have the skills to be able to take advantage of this extraordinary opportunity that they now have in front of them. And that's why I'm so glad that 15 years ago I was here in Jalandhar and I had such a good experience that I'm still here 15 years later because this is your time, it's your children's time, and this is the Indian century. And thank you, Ratnesh, for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. As I said, Burlington Corridor. These are some of the information which Nick shared, are public information, disclosed. And therefore, we sharing this with you is really what we have seen in terms of history changing. And clearly that history changing not only for India, it's changing for the Punjab and every other states here. In India, what we see, and we tried making an effort that how do we see the citizens of future? And what is really the other set of stats telling us? You know, and some of it is really well researched, and therefore it is important for us. We've seen that discussion really getting accelerated in the last couple of years. Every platform I have gone to, everywhere I have spoken, I visit other parts of Southeast Asia, Asian country, because that's my responsibility. There is a real focus of this discussion, and there is a real focus that this really the one which will set in the next set of narrative. Here is some of the other stats which I think is really switching gear. Now, while world is changing, there is a technology wave which is also happening, you know. Do you want to do what I want to do world want what they want to do? This is real. We've seen this happening in the COVID time. You've seen with your children. There's a very active discussion with the educators that screen time, non-screen time. Can we control, can we not control? Is that good or is that bad? Here is what is happening. Machine is changing every algorithmic job. You see, in the last information and data processing, which is a very important, used to be a very important job, and you and I have seen it and now growing up, 62% of that's really been taken over by. And this is really growing. I mean, you see this forecast to 2022. Imagine what's going to happen. It's a very short period of time. This is what has really happened. What's going to happen 2034 when the children, class 1 children of your school, they pass out. So, which is why I said Burlington Corridor. Why? Because these are some of the open questions for us as somebody who's sitting by your side, helping you to shape that narrative, or you who's practicing it every day with your children. Look at this. This is what your labor market, this is your future. You're getting your children ready for this. Anything which is routine, cognitive, is getting replaced. Right? That's really what machine is doing for you. There is a discussion or a side discussion happening of AI, ML, and a human intelligence. And that human intelligence, a part of that human intelligence which we need to kind of preserve, is important for us to discover. Because that wave is going at their speed. And if you don't identify that what is that human element, then with this whole growth of population and the celebration of India being the largest populated country, how would that going to help us? How is that going to help Punjab? How is that going to help your Jalandhar, Amritsar? And the people, today we have many people coming from Jammu, and many parts of Punjab. And thank you so much again for giving us this opportunity to host you here. But this is real. This is projected 2010. We are talking 2022. What has happened now is, you and I have seen it, is really, and what has happened in the last 2 years. Last 2 years added to this. We were having a technology discussion on the side. Today it is real. Inside your home, inside every discussion happening. So some of it extrapolated in terms of what does that mean for the foreseeable labor market, futures, jobs, etc. It's important. It's not only, the reason why I'm plotting this, because your kids or us, our kids are going to go face this world. Artists, designers, entertainers, media workers, you and I know that whole media job is so important these days. The design job, the influencer's job, suddenly some of these words never existed in the past. It's coming. Somebody puts a very good video on Instagram, you get millions, and the guy starts getting paid in thousands. Right? That's just real. That wasn't really there, a couple of years back. That's just how it is changing. This continues to be true for India. The computers, engineers, computer specialists, data scientists, these are really a growth opportunity. It has really helped India in the past. It is still helping. It's growing rapidly. I think we have some peers in the market, but I think we are far ahead in terms of doing that, and we believe that we'll continue to do that well, given the way our education system and the way we are there. Look at this. This is amazing, And this is what we need to discover, right? So you still have school teachers and other education professionals doing significantly well, and will continue to do well. And that aspect of human intelligence, what is that aspect in that teacher and what we're doing as a teacher or education professional is important for us to dwell in Burlington Corridor. And which is why I said it is important. We don't know the answer. Nobody knows. We're still struggling to find what that answer is, but we know it's happening. It is happening everywhere. It is happening in India. It's happening in your school. It is happening in every college I go to. And we've been working with all IITs and many of the great colleges, IISCs, which are ranked colleges, and we're seeing discussion happening with these professors who are accomplished educators. India is growing, and therefore industry side is also growing, and therefore need for these jobs continue to be high in places like India and Mexico, because they are a growing country. We still need many of those, hands-on real workers to make sure that our industry grows, and that's really why you see a positive side within these two countries. So all of this in a context of education really becomes even more important, because we've often seen the education system is a pendulum going from education to skills. People talk about education system, boards, the whole curriculum, pedagogy, that's your education side. That's one side of the pendulum. And the other side, which is the skill side. And we often, given where we are, given the structure is, we often see that skills being on one side. And many of those jurisdictions, the skills have really taken precedence, like countries like Estonia, Germany, etc., really have a skills in there as a part of the, curriculum pedagogy. Some of our new initiative of what we're talking about, skills that's there, but has that been embedded? And if that has not been embedded, and if you go back to these slides, how will it help our children in 2032? And that is the question which you have to. Are you going to be governed by what that knowledge is actually going to tell us and see what is going to happen in 2035 or 34 when your class 1 children graduates? Or are you going to be thinking about bringing those catalyzing transformation in a very subtle, in a way that it doesn't really, it becomes a part of your ecosystem, and it just really helps you in terms of bringing that for your teachers, for your educators, for your, in this slide also important that till about couple of years, and this is an observation we're talking about, coming out of the research done by Gartners and other. 3 years back, educators, school and learners, very important three sort of vertical. Parents had a role, but limited. You've seen in the last couple of years, parents have become a very important stakeholder. And that's just really every data suggests. Parents are becoming important stakeholders to play on the school, play on education and skills. So what does it all mean for us? What is it saying? And this is really what our extrapolation, and that's again a Burlington corridor discussion. We can talk about it, we can discuss about it, but this is really a collective set of our own hypothesis based on a lot of things which we have seen in terms of data research. It is clearly suggesting that for learners, that recipe is you've got to meet them where they are. Right? It's a very anecdotal story that, and this is like very recent. I have a 16, 17, I have a daughter and son, daughter writing board exam, son writing board, 10th, both of them are 10th and the 12th board now. And a year back, or 2 years back, I was trying to discover there's a game which he started liking and he was playing on that game, and I was trying to break that conversation with that what's really happening, and he would disengage in that conversation, and that never had happened in the past. And I started asking, what is it? And then I put my daughter, and daughters are very diligent to tell you what's really happening in the sons and the elder sibling. She comes back and says that, Papa, there's a new game where he's getting consumed. So is there a way that you could actually talk to him about that? And I tried finding out what that game is, and there's a game which was really played a multiplayer. And I said, okay, let me just try my own background here. I started that game, right? I joined myself in that game. I started playing the game. I started tracking him. I started going to his clan, started playing with him. And then I would go and stand by him and say, what's happening in this game? I said, how do you know about this? I said, I see kids talking about it. He said, are you playing? He said, yes, I'm playing. He said, is somebody troubling you? So he says, oh, there's this new guy who's come in and plays in anything, and my name was not there as my name. It was something else. And the conversation struck. I said, this is real gold for me. I mean, I was really losing in a way my conversation was happening. So I then said, do I need to go back and tell him about maths, that integration, differentiation story, or do I need to go here? And if you lose the conversation, you've lost the story. Right? So therefore, we have to meet the kids where they are. You cannot keep saying as an educator that they will travel all the way. It's changing very fast. You can nudge them to do good things. I have a colleague of mine, last year pass out, IIT Delhi, Karthik here. He was the one who helped me putting together some of these slides, and I only work with him in a different pace than other colleagues, and we have been talking about all kinds of things when I was traveling in Shatabdi, which doesn't really have anything to do with education, nothing. And it was going wild. So therefore, kids today is changing so fast that you got to see that is true for you to meet them. And that's really what personalization does for you. Is there a way you can make it personal? And it's been a story in the past, but it is real now. That can you make it personal? Can you not get that ego of the past with you and continue to see them in a certain way? That's not going to happen. That's not going to help. That has not helped me. That has not helped many educators who I have interacted across the country and the world. So that's one thing. The second thing, that doing this, the teacher is very important in all of our school. We've seen it. And there often a discussion, and I was being warned by some of my school founders that don't talk about teacher, don't tell them, don't say much, because you're with your school heads and the founders, and they would say that, this guy is coming from nowhere as an outsider and telling us how teacher. But the fact of the matter, in the changing time, and that personalization happened, the teacher they need to be empowered too, right? They need to be equipped. They need to be given that tool to make sure that they do really go to that personalization and start interacting with the children is exactly the way the children wants to see teachers acting. And I'm not saying that has to be compromised education, that whole education, pedagogy, curriculum, completion. And I think we often talk about this importance of 40 years. 40 is important for us as a Burlington because we've been there in 40 years, 40 countries. But 40 is important, but the 40 minutes given to the teacher to make sure there's a change in the child to happen, how will that happen? And how can you empower them? What is it which is needed for us to empower them? I think that's an important thing which as I said, and I'm again qualifying this discussion, these are all Burlington corridor discussion. That these are observation which is coming out of a lot of research which we have seen, a lot of things which is seeing as in terms of changing time. Third pillar, I talked about education. I talked about the skills in education. I talked about parents and the teachers and students. This is becoming very important. This is like saying, Sadda hat ethe rakh. The 30% of the money I'm giving it to my children, please give me back what I want. You can't tell me anything anymore. I have seen your teacher on the screen. This is what she's teaching. I want this. I want my teacher to learn the skills. This is Sadda hat ethe rakh. Mera hak hai, mere ko chahiye, I want this. This is what parents telling you today. And that's so true. And this has really happened. And again, I'm saying, these are all what we hear. This is what is changing. And therefore, you to realize and recognize that empowerment of teacher and that teacher to kind of have a good conversation with the parents is so important. Very recently, I was reading this book and I interviewed them. It's there on YouTube. There's a guy called Andreas. He's the OECD head of education. Me and him talking on one of the platform. And he's written a book which is 21st century school, what that is, or something like that. That's the topic of the book. And I was asking, what is it which you see in terms of changing time? What is a good school? And what should be a good school? And he was telling me in that conversation that one of the most important thing which he see is the role of the teacher, parents, and students. I said, what does that mean? He said the discussion itself it has to be a functional discussion. It cannot be a parent-teacher meeting with the way that you show them the report. That productive discussion to happen to say that what's going in the life of the child and how exactly both of us can work together and collaborate together to make it very functional. And that was his book, and I came back and I kind of read the book, and he's really given that. And it's a very good book, and I would suggest that I can forward that exact name of the book, but Andreas has really written it very well, that how exactly the role of a teacher or educator is changing so rapidly, and how parents are becoming an important part of our ecosystem. And I think you've seen it in COVID time. There was discussion around the parents saying that how much fee can I pay, not pay, but wherever there is a value, they were actually recognizing it. All of that was related because they realized that it is important. Now they started putting their more in terms of their own understanding of the. Now this all leads to the last point, and this is a Burlington story. I'm talking about here partnering school, and I'm not saying Burlington, anybody who is partnering with you, it could be anybody, right? Is the partner cannot be partner for today, tomorrow, and next day after tomorrow. This is like a story. In the olden days, we used to talk about an envelope traveling from one part of the nation to the other. Envelope cannot travel without stamp on that envelope. The moment you stamp that envelope, it will travel and it'll stay there on that envelope. You need a partner, or you need a promise of anybody who's working with you, who's not there for today, who's not transaction of today, who's not there only to do certain things, who need to be there with you, helping you to really discover that first personalization story, who's there with you to identify what the gaps of those teachers are and make sure that that partner works with that, who's there with you to bring the world class or world to you, to share what's happening in Finland, Estonia, Israel, and many other developed countries. You need a partner who could actually help you to engage in a way that your three ecosystem of teachers, educators, and parents work wonderfully well for you. So with this, I think my spin is over. I am going to leave you with our AV now. That's the only product thing which I'm going to talk about. Enjoy the AV. Thank you so much for being here and such a nice audience listening to us. I know in the evening we have a wonderful show, and I'm sure we will all, and I once again apologize on behalf of Burlington that we started a little late, but we wanted to make sure that everybody here, and ensure that all of you kind of really get to a place where we can actually see what we have put together, and then move on to an evening and a bit of a Burlington corridor discussion where we can learn from you and perhaps share some of the things which I've talked about. Here we go.
The seed of a global wave pertaining to the impact of English language proficiency was sown over 4 decades ago. The founders of Burlington English could foresee English language competencies becoming among the most crucial skills for anyone to succeed in the new world order. Starting right from school, helping students to succeed in academics, opening doors to renowned higher education institutions, setting benchmarks for job interviews, and finally coming to the aid of working professionals, helping them elevate their careers and reach new heights with language competency. In these 40 years across 40 countries, Burlington English has and continues to inspire and empower millions of minds, helping them realize their dreams of becoming thinkers, actors, creators, strategists, analyzers, forecasters, and leaders with exceptional communication abilities, which enables them to convey, convince, and collaborate efficiently and successfully. Ones who question what they listen, ones who substantiate what they speak, ones who analyze what they read, ones who critique what they write. Burlington English brings its enriched legacy to India. To partner with the country's progressive schools, Burlington English invites your school to lead the revolution now in India. With immersive and high-impact English language enhancement initiatives packed with advanced technology, comprehensive curriculum, and well-thought-out pedagogy. It goes beyond the realm of traditional English textbooks, equipping the learner with substantive language skills to succeed in any stage of their life. We look forward to creating a powerful synergy with your institutions. We welcome you to the fraternity of the world's most prestigious educational establishments, leagues apart and generations ahead of schools. With Burlington English School Partnership Program, be a pioneer, innovator and pathbreaker in the space of learning. Be a winner. Be a Burlington School.
Thank you so much. We have one more thing to do, is to announce the name of the winners of the quiz and perhaps gift for them. So, Nick, over to you.
Can you switch, please? Thank you. Great presentation, Ramesh. Okay, here we go. The winners are... In third place, Vidu. In second place, Inderpreet. And in first place, it must be Karan. Karan on the lead. Okay, Vidu, Inderpreet, and Karan, please come on stage. We've got presents. Prizes for the winners. You're in the booth, please. Congratulations. Well done. Please. Karan, the winner. Congratulations, Karan. And where's Vidhu? Oh, come. Vidhu, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being such a nice audience. I think we're going to take about a few minutes, and over to you, for taking this forward. But I think we'll have a lovely evening, and the Burlington Corridor discussion continues.
Thank you, Mr. Jha, and thank you, Mr. Booker. Can we please
you.
give a big hand for them? And I'm sure that there's a lot that we will be interacting. And Sir said we have a lovely musical evening, planned for us. Are we all excited for it? I'm sure everyone's looking forward to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I call the man himself on stage that we all are waiting for eagerly, I hope that everybody's got a pink-colored form on your table. I see some of them have already filled it. I will request you all to just spare 1 minute and fill the form and just leave it wherever it is. We'll collect it. I feel like an educator as a teacher right now. I see everybody is doing it absolutely instantly, as I told them. Thank you very much. So in the meanwhile, we are going to set the stage. While the stage is being set, I saw Mr. Booker has just handed over 3 gifts. So I thought, and I was very inspired by him in terms of quiz. I thought, why not I do a quiz? So there's this one thing that binds all of us, that's Bollywood. So we are going to do a little quiz here. And I've managed to arrange some chocolates. So I'll be handing over the chocolates. In the meanwhile, we'll have the stage set for the artist. So there's going to be a Bollywood quiz that's going to be flashing on the screen. And in case if you know the answer, we would want you to please raise your hand and I'll come to you. Can we please have the Bollywood quiz in the meanwhile? Thank you. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, next. So in this, there is going to be one picture. I see, ma'am, abhi quiz shuru hi nahi hua. Ma'am, utke, she's checking out what is the quiz. You too? You're right in the front. So now, in this, there's going to be one picture, but that one picture is going to have 2 celebrities in it. You'll have to help me with who are these 2. So both the names you have to give me. Can we have the first picture, please? Next. Okay, who are these 2? No, you have to tell me both the names.
Manisha Koirala and Shraddha.
It's not Manisha Koirala. Kriti Sanan, no. Okay.
Nargis Fakhri and Shraddha Kapoor.
Nargis Fakhri and Shraddha Kapoor is right. This is for you. Thank you. Thank you for clapping. Jiski koi awaaz nahi aaye, guys. We all can clap for each other, right? Can we have the answer? Next. Next. Yeah. Who are these 2?
Akshay and John Abraham.
Akshay is right. John Abraham is not. I'm going to go at the back. Hold. You can't prompt.
Akshay and Siddharth Malhotra.
Akshay and Siddharth Malhotra is right. This is for you. She seems so happy. Next. Who are these 2? No prompting. I'm going to go to this side. Anyone? Yeah.
Alia and Kamal Hassan's daughter. I remember.
Alia and Kamal Hassan's daughter. That is right. It is Shruti Hassan. This is for you. So, you from the same family? This family is taking a lot of gifts from here tonight, huh? Ma'am has just taken one. Can we have the next slide? Okay, next. Who are these 2? I'm going to go to this side now. Are. Who has the clicker? Can we do that again? Somebody has my clicker. Okay, yeah. Next. Yeah. Very simple. Okay, I'm going to go that side to ma'am. Ma'am's been raising her hand for quite some time, I see.
Katrina Kapoor. Kareena Kapoor. And Katrina Kapoor.
Katrina Kapoor. Katrina Kaif and Kareena is right. Thank you. Next. Okay, hold on to this slide. Yahi ruko. So there is this. Okay, ma'am already know. I've not even explained what the game is. Ma'am has raised her hand. No. Somebody who has not answered. I'm going to go that side. Yes, ma'am. Janvi Kapoor. Hey, no. Sridevi is right. This is for you. Next. Hold on. Who is this? I see female, women here are more participative and more intelligent in terms of Bollywood. What about the men? And this is not a female on the screen. Hanji. Ranveer Singh, no. Shahid Kapoor, no. You all can make guesses, it's okay. Huh? Make a guess? Guess? No? He's old now. Yes, no. Miss Inderpreet, I'm not going to give any more gifts to your family there. Everybody's going to take one gift here. Amitabh Bachchan is right. This is for you. But you've already taken one chocolate from me. No? Okay. Next. Who is this? No prompting. So this has suddenly become a group game. So, okay, this chocolate I'll keep for myself. I know, ma'am. Everybody's given me the answer, Urmila Matondkar. I told you I'm going to keep this one for myself. Next. That's it. Who is this? Oh, hey, you can't have so many chocolates. Too much sugar is not good.
Kamal Hassan.
Kamal Hassan is absolutely right. If we could get some claps there, perfect. Next. Stay. Who is this? Kareena, no. Huh? Karishma, no. Anushka Sharma, no. Aishwarya, no. Alia, no. Ranbir Kapoor, no. Shweta? Who is Shweta? Shweta Bachchan? No. Come on, make guesses. Ranbir Kapoor, I said no. Alia Bhatt, no.
Hrithik Roshan.
No. Kriti Sanon, no. Taapsee. Look who's answering. Mr. Bukka says it's Taapsee Panno, but it's not. Yes. Somebody said it's me. No, it's not me. Taapsee is not the answer. No. Somebody else. I want the men to be participating. Come on. Anyone? You all can make guesses. And okay, I'm going to give both of these chocolates to whosoever answers this. Huh? Sara Ali Khan, no. Preeti Zinta, no. So it's a female. Aisha Takia, no. The same family comes again. Hanji. Shilpa Shetty, no. Kiara, no. Helen, no. She's very modern. She's very new. Disha Patni, not that new. Disha Patni, no. Kareena Kapoor, no. Deepika, no. Hint. वगैरह सारे हो गए मैं देखना चाहती हूँ कौन बताता है ये सुष्मिता सेन नो आई सेड शी इज वेरी मॉडर्न नो एनी मूवी सोनम कपूर नो ma'am has given me she knows the answer she's given me a hint if I say that it will be very evident sir Kriti Sanon no so she came into Big Boss before she entered the movies. Huh? Urfi Javed? What Bollywood movie is she in? Shehnaz? What Bollywood movie is she in? No? No? Gauhar no? Rakhi Sawant no? Shilpa Shetty no? Shamita no? कौन? Kiara no? From Mukherjee. You all are very सीधा लोग, huh? I'm telling you. Ma'am, हाँ? श्रुति हसन, मतलब मेरे को ऐसे ऐसे रोना आ जाएगा, you know. Nobody wants, हाँ? Kajol's sister, no. She was already in the movie, ma'am, before she came into Big Boss. Who said that? Ma'am, please get up. I was waiting. Who is going to answer? Ma'am says it was just a tukka and ma'am says the answer is Sunny Leone. Can we see the answer? It is right. Let's give her a big hand. She's like, really? So I get 2 chocolates? Yes, you get 2 chocolates. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, the next round has no chocolates. This is just for fun. Can we have the next round? I'm sure by then we'll have the stage set. Can we have the first dialogue? There is a dialogue on the screen which I want you to say. And also tell me what movie is this dialogue. Asrani, what movie is this? Sholay, ma'am, but I want you to say the dialogue in the Asrani feel. That my husband will do.
हम अंग्रेजों के जमाने के जेलर हैं.
अरे आगे एक smile था. There was this laugh that we all are waiting for.
Ha ha.
Wonderful. Can we give it up for sir, everybody? Can we go on? Next. Beautiful dialogue. Sir, what movie is this dialogue from? Anand is right. You have to say the dialogue also for us.
Dialogue, so I don't know. हम सब रंगमंच की कठपुतलियां हैं जिनकी डोर ऊपर वाले की उंगलियों में है. उंगलियां कब कौन एक उठेगा किसी को नहीं मालूम.
Sir has framed जितना दिखा, but let's give it up for him. Next. अगर तेरे सर पर बॉम्ब लगा दूं तो पहले कौन फटेगा, तू या तेरा सर? What movie is this dialogue from? Sir, you know. Huh? You're rhyming with the name. Mahesh Manjrekar or Sanjay Dutt is right. But what movie? कांटे. You said आंखें. So that was. But ये तो बताओ कौन फटेगा पहले? It's ना.
उसमें बोला था तेरी फटेगी.
नहीं, मैं तो बोलना थी बम फटेगा. Wonderful. Next. अगर तुम सफेद साड़ी में लाल बिंदी लगाकर आ जाओ तो माँ कसम एम्बुलेंस लगोगी. हाँ, you know the answer? You know, usually this is the difficult one. No, you don't know the answer. Okay, in the meanwhile, let me also remind you to please fill the pink form that is on your table. Our team is going to collect it. Thank you, because after this, we all are going to go on a musical journey. So once again, requesting everyone, please fill the forms, because thereafter from here, I know everybody is going to be enjoying and we all are going to fall in love with music, because we have a phenomenal artist. We have, an artist par excellence who's going to join us on stage. A voice that not just touches, our heart, it touches the soul, ladies and gentlemen. He has taken the Punjabi folk music to another level. He's been awarded at various platforms. I know we don't need to introduce him, yet I will say a few liners. I'll just quickly read out about him before he comes. But which movie's dialogue is this? Okay, for this I can give you hints. It is an Ali Zafar movie. Now don't ask me who is Ali Zafar. Pooja Chadda's husband? Nahi. Richa Chadda's husband also is not Ali Zafar. No. His name is Ali, but not the Ali Zafar. The girls at the back, no. Mere brother ki dulhan, no. He only has done 3-4 movies. I know you're going to name all. Okay, so this is a difficult one. The movie's name is Chashme Baddoor. Ab kitne log bolenge, we've not even heard of this movie. You've heard? I'm asking who have not heard. Please raise your hand. Okay, then this question was not valid only. Next. कहते हैं प्यार में नींद उड़ जाती है, कोई हमसे भी मोहब्बत करे कमबख्त नींद बहुत आती है. No. Amir Khan, you've said right. But which movie is this? Who said Fana? Wonderful. Fana is right. And in the meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, let me take everyone's attention to the stage that I see is set now. Pele, before we go ahead and I invite the artist, I want all of you to please give yourselves a big round of applause for being such lovely audience. And you know, like we said, on behalf of Burlington, India, we are so thankful that we have amongst us all the respected, you know, leaders of education. You all have done tremendous in your field. But right now, from this moment onwards, we are going to present a musical tribute to all of you for all your hard work, all the exemplary work that you all have done. And reminding the pink form once again, then I'm going to call him and then I know nobody's going to listen to me. Everyone's going to go fall in love with music. So anybody who does not have a form, we all have a form, right? In case if you don't, please let us know. Thank you. I'm sure that everyone's very, very excited. Can we please welcome the band, everyone? And with that, it's time for all of us to welcome the man with the magical voice. We have with us Lakhwinder Wadali ji from the Wadali Gharana of Patiala. He's from Punjab, and we all know. I know he does not need an introduction, but I'm going to quickly read out a few lines about his work. So, ladies and gentlemen, among the leading folk and Sufi singers of his generation, Lakhwinder Wadali ji has evolved an individual style in his presentation and has gained wide popularity. His style of singing combines a fine blend of classical and contemporary music. His dedicated work in preserving and promoting Punjabi folk music has been honored at various platforms. He has been awarded the Best Sufi Singer of India. He has been awarded for the Best Sufi Song, awarded by PTC Channel Punjab. The Best Singer award given by the Canadian government. Tonight, it's time for all of us to fall in love with music once again. May I request everyone to please join your hands together and give a huge round of applause as we welcome Lakhwinder Wadali ji. Everybody, can we have a big round of applause?
आंचल हटा के बात करो, जरा मुख से आंचल हटा के बात करो, रात को दिन बना के बात करो, जरा रुख से आंचल हटा के बात करो, रात को दिन बना के बात करो, महखाने के चिराग मध्यम हैं, जरा नजरें उठा के बात करो, जरा नजरें उठा के बात करो। जरा उठाओ तो, महकते को दुल्हन बनाओ तो, मस्त नजरें जरा उठाओ तो, महकते को दुल्हन बनाओ तो, जो भी गुजरेगी हम पे गुजरेगी, तुम नजर से नजर मिलाओ तो, आंख से आंख मिलाओ, आंख से आंख मिलाओ तो कोई बात बने, आंख से आंख मिलाओ तो कोई बात बने, रुख से जुल्फों को हटाओ, रुख से जुल्फों को हटाओ तो कोई बात बने, आंख से आंख मिलाओ तो कोई बात बने, आंख से आंख मिलाओ तो कोई बात बने। तीर छुप छुप के चलाने से भला क्या हासिल, छुप छुप के चलाने से भला क्या हासिल, तीर छुप छुप के चलाने से भला क्या हासिल, हसीनों की यही तो आदत बुरी है, हसीनों की यही तो आदत बुरी है, लब पे मोहब्बत बगल में छुरी है, तिरछी नजरों से ना देखो आशिके दिलगीर को, तिरछी नजरों से ना देखो आशिके दिलगीर को, अरे कैसे तीर अंदाज हो, सीधा तो कर लो तीर को, तीर छुप छुप के चलाने से भला क्या हासिल, नजर नजर ऊंची की तो दुआ बन गई, नजर नीची की तो हया बन गई, नजर तिरछी की तो अदा बन गई, नजर फेर ली तो कज़ा बन गई, तीर छुप छुप के बेझिझक सामने आओ, बेझिझक सामने आओ, तुम जरा बेझिझक सामने आओ, के सामने आओ तो कोई बात बने, बेझिझक सामने आओ तो कोई बात बने, रुख से जुल्फों को हटाओ, सा धा नि पा सरे गा मा रे धा नि सा धा नि पा गा धा नि सा 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 तो कोई बात बने सुरमा आंखों में लगाने से नहीं होता सिंगार। तो क्या करना चाहिए? अच्छी सूरत को संवरने की जरूरत क्या है? धरी रे धरे निसा धरी बा 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 धरी रे सारे निसा सारे निसा सारे निसा सारे बा हमारे हरे निसा धरी बा बा धरी सा सारे निसा धरी बा बा धरी सा धरी सा धरी सा धरी सा धरी सा अच्छी सूरत को संवरने की जरूरत क्या है? अच्छी सूरत को संवरने की जरूरत क्या है? सादगी में भी कयामत की अदा होती है। आपकी नजर अच्छी सूरत को संवरने की जरूरत क्या है? सादगी में भी कयामत की अदा होती है। तुम जो आ जाते हो मस्जिद में अता करने नमाज, तुमको मालूम है कितनों की कज़ा होती है? हम तो रोज पिया करते हैं। माना जनाब के मैं पीता हूं, माना जनाब के मैं पीता हूं तो बेहिसाब पीता हूं। माना जनाब के मैं पीता हूं तो बेहिसाब पीता हूं। अरे लोग तो लोगों का खून पीते हैं, लोग तो लोगों का खून पीते हैं, मैं तो फिर भी शराब पीता हूं। क्यों पीता हूं और पीता कौन सी हूं? जो नजरों से पिलाई जाती है, जो रहमत की निगाह से पिलाई जाती है, जिसे तौहीद की शराब कहते हैं। नानक नदरों नदर निहाल, जो नजरों से पिलाई जाती है। अज प्याला रख दे एक पासे, मैनू नजरां नाल पिला सकी। क्यों? माना जनाब के मैं पीता हूं, करके खाना खराब पीता हूं। माना जनाब के मैं पीता हूं, करके खाना खराब पीता हूं। रोज महशर हिसाब हो न सके, रोज महशर हिसाब हो न सके, इसलिए बेहिसाब पीता हूं। सुन के देख लैला तेरे मजनू का कलेजा क्या है। सर आपकी नजर, हाँ आप ही की नजर। देख लैला तेरे मजनू का कलेजा क्या है। तवज्जो तवज्जो चाहूंगा। देख लैला तेरे मजनू का कलेजा क्या है, खाक में मिलकर भी कहता है कि बिगड़ा क्या है। देख लैला तेरे मजनू का कलेजा क्या है, खाक में मिलकर भी कहता है कि बिगड़ा क्या है। हमको मखनून बनाया तेरी आंखों ने, हमको मखनून बनाया तेरी आंखों ने, वरना साकी तेरे महखाने में रखा क्या है। अपनी नजरों से पिलाओ, अपनी नजरों से पिलाओ, थोड़ी सी जरा तुम जरा, थोड़ी सी जरा से पिलाओ, तो कोई बात बने। अपनी से पिलाओ तो कोई बात बने। आंख से आंख मिलाओ, मिला लो जरा, आंख से आंख मिला लो जरा, तुम जरा मिला लो जरा। जब से राधा शाम के जब से राधा शाम के नैन हुए हैं चार, जब से राधा शाम के, जब से राधा शाम के नैन हुए हैं चारों, कृष्ण बने हैं राधिका और राधा बन गई शाम। मिला लो जरा आंख से, आंख से, आंख से, आंख से, आंख से मिलाओ, मिला लो जरा आंख से, आंख से, आंख से, आंख मिलाओ, मिला लो जरा आंख से, आंख से। बात नजरों से शुरू होती है, फिर दिल तक जाती है, फिर कभी कभी दिमाग भी थोड़ा सा लड़ जाता है। कैसे? अखियां नू अखियां, अखियां नू अखियां नू अखियां पुछण लगियां, अखियां नू अखियां सड़ियां अखियां नू अखियां पुछण लगियां नी तुसी किस कजिए नू फड़ियां अठो पैर विच रहनियां जल दे ते हाले भी आंखों सड़ियां आंख से आंख से आंख से आंख से आंख मिलाओ आंख से आंख से आंख से नैना तुम बुरे हो नैना तुम बुरे हो धनी रे जार नी धनी पा मा पा धनी सा धनी सा धनी सा धनी सा धनी सा नैना 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 तुम बुरे हो नैना तुम बुरे हो तुमसे बुरा ना कोई नैना तुम बुरे हो तुमसे बुरा ना कोई आप ही प्रीत की आप ही प्रीत की प्रीत की आप ही प्रीत की आग लगाए और आप ही बैठा रोए 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 आंख से आंख मिला लो जरा मिला लो जरा आंख से आंख मिलाओ आंख से आंख से ओ तो कोई बात बने आंख से आंख तो कोई बात रुख से जुल्फों को हटाओ रुख से हटाओ तो कोई बात बने आंख से आंख मिलाओ बात बने बात बने बात बने आंख से तो कोई बात बने ताली जोरदार होनी चाहिए थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू सो सो मच थैंक यू जीते रहे आप खुश रहे मैं माफ़ी चाहांगा हॉल की वजह नाल अगर साउंड सिस्टम दे कुछ अगर तुहानूं लग रहा होवे अगर है तो तुसीं उन्हां नूं जरूर दस देना मैनूं कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होएगी क्योंकि तुहानूं साफ सुनना चाहिए क्लीयर सुनना चाहिए क्योंकि तुहाडे लिए असीं आए हैं तो जे रौला पा के ते ओ फिर कोई मज़ा नहीं थैंक यू सो मच आप सब का मैं बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हाँ और एक बार मेरी तरफों मेरे इस म्यूजिकल फैमिली की तरफों आप सब को बहुत बहुत जी आयां नूं बहुत बहुत वेलकम खुशामदीद बड़ा खूबसूरत एक शेर याद आया कि जा रहे थे यूं ही दिल बेकरार था जा रहे थे यूं ही दिल बेकरार था आज तो वही मिल गए जिनका इंतज़ार था। तो आप सबका बहुत बहुत तहे दिल से मैं वेलकम। वैसे तो पंजाब च पंजाबी सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ आउंदी होनी है वैसे तो अच्छी गल है हर तरह की चीज़ भी होनी चाहिए तो चाहे खिचड़ी बन भी जाए कोई गल नहीं खिचड़ी पेट लिए बड़ी अच्छी होंगी है ਸੋ ਇਹ ਵੈਸੇ ਵੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਮਾ ਦਰੁਸਤ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਹਲਕੀ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹਲਕੀ ਫੁਲਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ। ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਜੋ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਫਰਮਾਇਸ਼ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਿਰ ਮੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੱਸਣਾ। ਬਹਰਹਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਲਿਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਦਮ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਉਸਤਾਦ ਪੂਰਨ ਚੰਦ ਵਡਾਲੀ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਕਲਾਮ ਗਾਇਆ ਨਜ਼ਾਰਾ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ। एक बार वडाली ब्रदर्स के लिए जोरदार ताड़ी ला दो। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू। मेरा ध्यान फिर लगता नहीं उसका। शेर काबिल गौर। गर न होता इश्क मजाजी यार कभी ना होता राजी देखते रह गए पंडित काजी इश्क की ले गए आशिक बाजी। यार पिछों रब दिसिया ओ मैनू दिसिया ओ मैनू दिसिया यार पिछों रब दिसिया किसी और को ना देख ना गवारा किसी और को ना देख ना गवारा यार पिछों रब दिसिया ओ मैनू दिसिया रब देखा नहीं देखा मैंने यार को सच कहती हूँ सारे संसार को संसार को किसी और को न देख न गवारा किसी और को न देख न गवारा कि दिसिया हर पल ही दीदार उसका भाना है तेरा यार की गली में लगाना है गली में लगाना है यूं ही बोले हैं जोगी का एक तारा यूं ही बोले हैं जोगी का एक तारा कि यार विचों रब दिसिया ओ मैनू दिसिया यार विचों रब दिसिया रब रूठ जावे यार कभी रूठे ना डोरी इश्क वाली फिदा कभी टूटे ना फिदा कभी टूटे ना यूं ही बोले हैं जोगी का एक तारा यूं ही बोले हैं जोगी का एक तारा के यार विचों रब दिसिया ओ मैनू दिसिया ओ मैनू दिसिया यार विचों रब दिसिया ਵਿਮਾਈਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਵੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਚੁੱਕ ਚਰਖਾ ਗਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਾਵਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਪਾਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਤਦੀ ਤੰਦ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਯਾਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਲ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਚੌਥਾ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਡਾਊਨ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਲ ਓਵਰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੋਰ ਘਟਾ ਦਿਓ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਮੇਰਾ ਵੋਲਿਊਮ ਵੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਘੱਟ ਕਰੋ ਹਾਂ ਬਿਸਲ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ शेर आपकी नजर अल्फोस तरंजन विच कतना की ते जिथों नाल दियां चरखे चुक गईयां ओहो टूट गए शाखां सुख गईयां आज की बात फिर नहीं होगी शेर तवज्जो चाहूंगा आज की बात। थोड़ी सी हलचल थोड़ी सी कम कर दें प्लीज, हलचल थोड़ी सी, मजा आएगा। आज की बात फिर नहीं होगी, ये मुलाकात फिर नहीं होगी, ऐसे बादल तो फिर भी आएंगे है, ऐसी बरसात फिर नहीं होगी। रात उनको भी हुआ, रात उनको भी हुआ यूं महसूस, रात उनको भी हुआ यूं महसूस, जैसे ये रात फिर नहीं होगी। एक नजर मुड़ के देखने वाले, क्या ये खैरात फिर नहीं होगी। वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं चरखा मेरा रंग रंगीला बन गई तेरी याद वसीला। वे माया तेरे वेखण, वे माया तेरे वेखण चुक चरखा गली दे विच डां। वे लोकां पाने मैं कत दी तंद तेरियां यादां दे पावां। वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं चुक चरखा गली दे विच डावां। वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं, वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं चुक चरखा गली दे विच डावां। वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं, वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं चुक चरखा गली दे विच डावां। वे लोकां पानी मैं कत दी, वे लोकां पानी मैं कत दी तंग तेरियां यादां दे पावां। वे लोकां पानी मैं कत दी वे चरखे दी ऊपर दे ओले, चरखे दी ऊपर दे ओले, चरखे दी वे याद तेरी दा तुम्बा बोले, याद तेरी दा वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के, वे निम्मा निम्मा तंग खिचदी हो लारे खावां। वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के वे बाबल दी सौ जी नहीं लगदा, बाबल दी सौ वे बाबल दी सौ वे मेरा जी नहीं ते लगदा, वे मेरा जी लगदा मेरा जी नहीं 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 लगदा 100 बार चढ़ी कोठे ते उतरी 100 बारी 100 बार चढ़ी कोठे ते उतरी 100 बारी 100 बार चढ़ी कोठे ते मैं उतरी 100 बारी ते मैं उतरी 100 बारी ते मैं उतरी 100 बारी मैं उतरी 100 बारी ना दिल चैन ना सब्र अखी नू ना भुलदी सूरत प्यारी ते 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 ना भुलदी सूरत प्यारी ओ इश्क सताई मैं देवां दुहाई इश्क सताई मैं देवां दुहाई ते मैं करदी गिरिया जारी 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 ओ आजा सजना ना जा सजना वे आजा सजना ना जा सजना वे तू जित्तिया ते मैं हारी मेरा जी नहीं लगदा 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 वे मेरा जी वे मेरा जी वे मेरा जी वे जी वे मेरा जी नहीं लगदा ओ अखियां उड़ीकदियां दिल बाजा मारदा अखियां उड़ीकदियां दिल बाजा मारदा अखियां उड़ीकदियां दिल बाजा मारदा आजा जान वालिया वास्ता ही प्यार दा मजा आ रहा आजा तेनू अखियां उड़ीकदियां आजा तेनू अखियां उड़ीकदियां आजा तेनू अखियां उड़ीकदियां आजा तेनू अखियां उड़ीकदियां अखियां उड़ीकदियां दिल बाजा मारदा आजा जान वालिया वास्ता ही प्यार दा आजा तेनू अखियां उड़ीकदियां आजा तेनू अखियां उड़ीकदियां आजा तेनू अखियां उड़ीकदियां तेरे वल्लों पुछदे ने गलियां दे बाल वे तेरे वल्लों पुछदे ने गलियां दे बाल वे गुमसुम होवा जदों करदे सवाल वे गुमसुम होवा जदों करदे सवाल वे गुमसुम होवा जदों करदे सवाल वे ओ मारदा ए ताने मैनू मौसम बहार दा मारदा ए ताने मैनू मौसम बहार दा मारदा ए ताने मैनू मौसम बहार दा आजा जान वालिया वास्ता ही प्यार दा लोए 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 आजा माही लोए लोए आजा माही लोए लोए आजा माही लोए आजा माही ओ अखियां दी प्यास बुझा जा माही अखियां दी प्यास बुझा जा माही ततड़ी नू गल ला जा माही लोए लोए आजा माही लोए लोए आजा माही लोए लोए आजा ਧੂਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਸੇਜ ਵਿਛਾਵਾਂ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਰੰਗਲੇ ਪਲੰਗ ਬਿਠਾਵਾਂ ਜਿੰਦੜੀ ਦੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਮੁੱਕ ਜਨ ਸਾਰੇ ਰੋਕ ਹਿਜਰ ਦੇ ਬੋਲ ਸੁਣਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੋਲ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੁਖ ਦਿਖਲਾ ਜਾ ਮਾਗੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੁਖ ਦਿਖਲਾ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੁਖ ਦਿਖਲਾ ਜਾ ਤਤੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਲਾ ਜਾ ਮਾਗੀ ਓਏ ਓਏ ਆ ਜਾ ਮਾਗੀ ਆ ਜਾ ਮਾਗੀ ਇਹਨੇ ਕਵਾਲੀ ਇਸ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੇ ਕਵਾਲੀ ਦੇ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਵਾਲਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਡੁੱਗੀ ਵਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਪੁੜਾ ਰੱਖੋ ਵਾਲਾ ਵੈਸੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਆਟਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਪਰ ਇਹਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਲਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਕੁਝ ਲਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਇਹਨੇ ਜੇ ਆਹ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੰਮ ਅੱਛਾ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰਾ ਦਾਦ ਦਿਓ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਿ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਲੋਹੇ ਲੋਹੇ ਆ ਜਾ ਮਾਗੀ ਲੋਹੇ आजा मागी लोए आजा मागी लोए आजा मागी नित खैर मंगा नित खैर मंगा मैं 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 नित खैर नित खैर नित खैर नित खैर नित खैर नित खैर खैर मंगा मैं नित खैर मंगा मैं नित खैर मंगा नित खैर मंगा नित खैर मंगा सोनिया मैं तेरी नित खैर मंगा सोनिया मैं तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी नित खैर मंगा सोनिया मैं तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी तेरे पैरां च अखीर होवे मेरी तेरे पैरां च अखीर होवे मेरी ओ तेरे पैरां च अखीर होवे मेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी नित खैर मंगा सोनिया मैं तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी नित खैर मंगा सोनिया मैं तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी तू मिलिया ते मिल गई खुदाई दे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू किसे नू कोई 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 वे सानू तू 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 मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया मुख तेरा सोहणिया गुलाब नालों चंगा है मुख तेरा सोहणिया गुलाब नालों चंगा है ते नशा तेरी अख दा शराब नालों चंगा है तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया सुपने विच मैनू माही मिलिया सुपने विच मैनू माही मिलिया ते मैं गल पा लईयां बाम सुपने विच वे मैनू माही मिलिया ते मैं गल पा लईयां बाम डरदी मारी अख ना खोला डरदी मारी अख ना खोला किते फेर विछड़ ना जावा तू मिलिया वे सानू 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 तू वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू सानू तू सानू तू सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू एक तू एक तू एक तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू एक तू एक तू एक तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया बस तू बस तू बस तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू आवो नी सैयो रल दियो नी बधाई नी आवो सैयो रल दियो नी बधाई मैं वर पाया रांझा मागी तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू अज दा रोज अज दा रोज अज दा अज दा रोज अज दा रोज अज दा रोज मुबारक चढ़िया अज दा रोज मुबारक चढ़िया अज दा रोज मुबारक हे हे अज दा रोज मुबारक अज दा रोज मुबारक चढ़िया रांझा साडे बेड़े बड़िया मिलिया वे सानू तू वे सानू तू मिलिया 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 कोई रंग सावा ते कोई रंग पीला कोई रंग सावा ते कोई रंग पीला दोवें शगनां दे प्रतीक ने सूहा ते सावा रंग शगनां दा पीला रंग चिश्तिया रंग खालसे दा रंग चढ़दी कला दा प्रतीक खालस रंग बाबा बुल्ले शाह साहब लिखते कहंदे कोई रंग सावा कोई रंग सावा ते कोई रंग पीला कोई लाल गुलाबी करदा कोई रंग सावा ते कोई रंग पीला कोई लाल गुलाबी करदा ओ बुल्ले शाह रंग मुर्शद वाला बुल्ले शाह रंग मुर्शद वाला ओ किसे किसे नू चढ़दा वे तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया भाई तुसी किथे चले हो नहीं इधर ना करो मैं भी रोक के बैठा अभी तो आए हो अभी तो दामन संभाला अभी तो आए हो अभी तो दामन संभाला है तेरी जाऊं जाऊं ने मेरा दिल निकाला है मिलिया 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 हाले लथा नहीं हाले लथा नहीं अखियां दा चाह 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 तू थोड़ी देर होर ठहर जा हाले लथा नहीं अखियां दा चाह तू थोड़ी देर सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू मिलिया वे सानू तू वे सानू तू वे सानू तू वे सानू तू तू मिलिया ते मिल गई खुदाई वे हाथ जोड़ आखा पावी ना जुदाई वे हाथ जोड़ आखा पावी ना जुदाई वे हाथ जोड़ आखा पावी ना जुदाई वे मैं ते मर के भी 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 रहना माया तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी मैं ते मर के भी रहना माया तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी मैं ते मर के भी रहना माया तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी मैं ते मर के भी रहना माया तेरी दुआ ना कोई होर मंगदी हुस्न वालों से जिसका बड़ा वास्ता हुस्न वालों से जिसका बड़ा वास्ता वो हसीनों के जलवों पे मारा गया हुस्न वालों से जिसका बड़ा वास्ता वो हसीनों के जलवों पे मारा गया हुस्न वालों से जिसका बड़ा वास्ता वो हसीनों के जलवों पे मारा गया हुस्न वालों ने जिसको भी दिल दे दिया हुस्न वालों ने जिसको भी दिल दे दिया हुस्न वालों ने जिसको भी दिल दे दिया उसको दीवाना मजनू पुकारा गया हुस्न वालों से अल्लाह बचाए हुस्न वालों से अल्लाह बचाए महजमालों से अल्लाह बचाए महजमालों से अल्लाह बचाए वालों से अल्लाह बचाए, हुस्न वालों से अल्लाह बचाए, जमालों से अल्लाह बचाए, हुस्न वालों से अल्लाह बचाए, जमालों से अल्लाह बचाए। लूट लेते हैं, लूट लेते हैं, कभी मुस्कुरा के, कभी दिल जला के, लूट 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 लेते हैं, लूट लेते हैं, ये लूट लेते हैं, ये लूट लेते हैं, ये लूट लेते हैं, ये दिल लगी ही दिल लगी में दिल गया, दिल लगाने का नतीजा मिल गया। दिल लगी ही दिल लगी में दिल गया, दिल लगाने का नतीजा मिल गया। तुम क्यों हंसते हो, तुम्हें क्या मिल गया, हम तो रोते हैं हमारा दिल गया। लूट लेते हैं हुस्न वाले, हुस्न वाले, हुस्न वाले, हुस्न वाले, हुस्न वाले, हुस्न वाले कबूतर की नस्ल से होते हैं, कभी इसकी जेड़े बेवफा ने उन्हां लई सारे लई। हुस्न वाले कबूतर की नस्ल से होते हैं, कभी इसकी कभी उसकी बगल में होते हैं। हुस्न वाले कबूतर की नस्ल से होते हैं, कभी उसकी कभी इसकी बगल में होते हैं। दिल जलों से दिल लगी अच्छी नहीं, रोने वालों से हंसी अच्छी नहीं। तुम क्यों हंसते हो, तुम्हें क्या मिल गया, हम तो रोते हैं हमारा दिल गया। लूट लेते हैं ये, लूट लेते हैं ये, लूट लेते हैं ये, लूट लेते हैं ये, लूट लेते हैं ये मुस्कुरा के, लूट लेते हैं ये मुस्कुरा के। इनकी चालों से अल्लाह बचाए, लूट लेते हैं ये मुस्कुरा के, इनकी चालों से अल्लाह बचाए, लूट लेते हैं ये मुस्कुरा के, इनकी चालों से अल्लाह बचाए, लूट लेते हैं ये मुस्कुरा के, इनकी चालों से अल्लाह बचाए। आंख उठी, आंख उठी मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली, आंख उठी मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली, आंख उठी मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली, आंख उठी मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली। दिल का सौदा हुआ चांदनी रात में, आंख उठी मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली, दिल का सौदा हुआ चांदनी रात में, आंख उठी मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली, दिल का सौदा हुआ चांदनी रात में। आंख उठी मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली, दिल का सौदा हुआ चांदनी रात में। उनकी नजरों ने कुछ ऐसा जादू किया, उनकी नजरों ने कुछ ऐसा जादू किया, उनकी नजरों ने ये जादू किया, उनकी नजरों ने कुछ ऐसा जादू किया। लुट गए हम तो पहली मुलाकात में, उनकी नजरों ने कुछ ऐसा जादू ਵੇ ਤੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਗਈ ਖੁਦਾਈ ਵੇ ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਗਈ ਖੁਦਾਈ ਵੇ ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਗਈ ਖੁਦਾਈ ਵੇ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਆਖਾਂ ਪਾਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਜੁਦਾਈ ਵੇ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਆਖਾਂ ਪਾਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਜੁਦਾਈ ਵੇ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਆਖਾਂ ਪਾਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਜੁਦਾਈ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਚੰਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਵੇ ਚੰਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਵੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਵਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਦੁਆਵਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬਾਪ ਨੇ ਸਿਰ ਦਾ ਤਾਜ ਮੁਹੰਮਦ ਭਾਈ ਭਾਈਆਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਭਾਈਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਾਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਭਾਈਆਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਭਾਈਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਾਹਾਂ ਬਾਪ ਨੇ ਸਿਰ ਦਾ ਤਾਜ ਮੁਹੰਮਦਾ ਤੇ ਮਾਵਾਂ ਠੰਡੀਆਂ ਛਾਵਾਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਚੰਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਵੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਚੰਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਵੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਚੰਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਵੇ ਆਜਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਵਸਾਵੇ ਆਜਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਵਸਾਵੇ ਆਜਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਵਸਾਵੇ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਬਦਰ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਬਦਰ ਬਣਾਵੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਢੇਰੀ ਉਹ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਬਦਰ ਬਣਾਵੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਢੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਬਦਰ ਬਣਾਵੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਢੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਬਣਾਵੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਢੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਬਦਰ ਬਣਾਵੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਢੇਰੀ ਦੁਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ 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 ਬਾਬਲ ਦੀ ਸੌ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਉਹ ਬਾਬਲ ਦੀ ਸੌ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਉਹ ਡਾਡਾ ਸੇਕ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਦੀ ਅੱਗ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਡਾਡਾ ਸੇਕ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਦੀ ਅੱਗ ਦਾ ਡਾਡਾ ਸੇਕ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਦੀ ਅੱਗ ਦਾ ਵੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਮਾਇਆ ਵੇ सरे पामा रे नि सा रे मा पा नी नि नि सा ग नि दा पा दा पा मा ग रे ग मा पा वे हुण मैनू दस माया वे हुण मैनू दस माया तेरे बातों किधर नू जावां वे हुण मैनू दस माया तेरे बातों किधर नू जावां वे हुण मैनू दस माया तेरे बातों किधर नू जावां ओ चरखे दी ऊपर दे ओले चरखे दी ऊपर दे ओले चरखे दी ऊपर दे ओले कू कू कर दे याद तेरी दा तुम्बा बोले याद तेरी दा तुम्बा बोले याद तेरी दा तुम्बा बोले तेरा 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 तुम्बा बोले तुनक तुनक तुन तुनक तुनक तुन तुनक 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 शिवा का डमरू मीरा का तुम्बा शिवा का डमरू मीरा का तुम्बा शिवा का डमरू शिवा का डमरू मीरा का तुम्बा शिवा का डमरू मीरा का तुम्बा तेरा तुम्बा बोले 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 तुनक तुनक तुन तुनक तुन तुनक तुन तुनक तुन तेरा तुम्बा बोले 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 आवे माही रल कठियां बईए ते विछोड़े नूं अग लाइए वे आवे मागे वे आवे मागे वे आवे वे आवे आवे माही रल कठियां बईए ते विछोड़े नूं अग लाइए मंजूर दिलां नूं ए गम रहिंदा किते बिछड़े ना मर जाइए तेरा तुम्बा बोले 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 ओ चरखे दी ऊ कर दे ओले याद तेरी दा तुम्बा बोले चल तेरी ना कुंबा बोले याद तेरी ना कुंबा बोले याद तेरी ना कुंबा बोले वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के निसरे बाबा वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के निसरे माँ पानी नी नी सा 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 वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के तंग खिंचदी हुलारे पामा वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के तंग खिंचदी हुलारे पामा वे निम्मा निम्मा गीत छेड़ के तंग खिंचदी हुलारे पामा वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं चुक चरखा गली दे विच डावां वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं चुक चरखा गली दे विच डावां वे माया तेरे वेखण नूं चुक चरखा गली दे विच डावां बस करिए तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा दस होर केड़ा रब दा दुआरा असा ते तैनू रब मन्या एक मेरा गाना जिहड़ा मेरे स्टाइल दे विच अजकल दे माहौल दे हिसाब नाल जिहड़ा रिलीज होया सी फिल्म आमिर खान प्रोडक्शन दी मूवी सी कोई जाने ना कुनाल कपूर ओदे हीरो सी और ओ कोविड दे दरम्यान रिलीज हुई मूवी पर वो सिनेमास दे विच नहीं लगी सो इस करके ओदा थोड़ा जा बहुत लोगों को नहीं पता लग सकिया सो वो जिहड़ा स्टाइल सी थोड़ा जा पहले मैं वो आप दी नज़र कर लगा तेरे नैना ऐसे गाफिल क्या छुपाऊं तुझसे आखिर तेरे नैना ऐसे गाफिल क्या छुपाऊं तुझसे आखिर तू तो जाने मेरी सारी चोरियां तेरे पीछे चल दूं मैं आंखें मीचे तेरे हाथों में है मेरी डोरियां तू ही चन मेरा तू ही मेरी रातां है तू ही धुप मेरी तू ही बरसातां मैं यारा तेनू माने दिलदारा असां ते तेनू रब मने तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा असां ते तेनू रब मने तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना तेरी चौखट मेरा मदीना तेरी चौखट नहीं और ना सजदा गवारा असां ते तैनू रब मनेया दस होर केड़ा रब दा दुबारा असां ते तैनू रब मनेया तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा असां ते तैनू रब मनेया तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा असां ते तैनू रब मनेया तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा असां ते तैनू रब मनेया तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा असां ते तैनू रब मनेया तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा असां ते तैनू रब मनेया तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या कि तुझ बिन जीना क्या जीना 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 तुझ बिन जीना किसी के नाक में हीरा किसी के कान में हीरा किसी के कान में हीरा किसी के नाक में हीरा किसी के कान में हीरा किसी के कान में हीरा हमें हीरों से मतलब क्या 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 मेरा तो यार है हीरा कि तुझ बिन जीना क्या जीना 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 तुझ बिन जीना जमाले यार से बढ़कर कोई जमाल नहीं जमाले यार से बढ़कर कोई जमाल नहीं जमाले यार से बढ़कर कोई जमाल नहीं वो ऐसी मिसाल है जिसकी कोई मिसाल नहीं वो ऐसी मिसाल है जिसकी कोई मिसाल नहीं वो ऐसी मिसाल है जिसकी कोई मिसाल नहीं कसम खुदा की खुदा भी साफ कहता है मेरा जवाब तू है तेरा जवाब नहीं कि तुझ बिन जीना क्या जीना 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 तुझ बिन जीना वो नहीं वो जो उनसे परे बैठे हैं पीछे वाले जरा तवज्जो चाहूंगा वो नहीं वो जो उनसे परे बैठे हैं वो भी नहीं वो जो उनसे परे बैठे हैं कोई जाके उनको कह दे कोई जाके उनको कह दे कि हम उन पे मरे बैठे हैं कि तुझ बिन जीना क्या जीना 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 तुझ बिन जीना वो नहीं वो जो उनसे परे बैठे हैं कोई जाके उनको कह दे कि हम उन पे मरे बैठे शायर ने जवाब लिखा कहा अरे यूं ना करना गुमा अपने पे यूं ना करना गुमा अपने पे लोग तुमसे भी परे बैठे हैं कि तुझ बिन जीना क्या जीना 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 तुझ बिन जीना शेर याद आया आप तो हुस्न की जागीर लिए बैठे हैं आप तो हुस्न की जागीर लिए बैठे हैं अरे आपके चाहने वाले दिल में आपकी तस्वीर लिए बैठे हैं कि तुझ बिन जीना क्या जीना 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 जिनकी महफिल हो वो महफिल में जरूर आते हैं जिनकी महफिल हो वो महफिल में जरूर आते हैं महबूब की महफिल को महबूब सजाते। एक बार जोरदार तालियां जरा एडी सोहनी महफिल लई। वो आए ना आए वो उनकी खुशी, वो आए ना आए वो उनकी खुशी, हम आस लगाए बैठे हैं। वो आए ना आए वो उनकी खुशी, हम आस लगाए बैठे हैं। वो कह दें तो हम उठ जाएं, हम उनके बिठाए बैठे हैं कि तुझ बिन जीना। वो जब आएंगे तो सब उनकी तरफ देखेंगे, वो जब आएंगे तो सब उनकी तरफ देखेंगे। मगर देखना ये है कि वो आके किन की तरफ देखेंगे कि तुझ बिन जीना। तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना, तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना, तुझ बिन जीना भी क्या जीना। तेरी चौखट मेरा मदीना, तेरी चौखट मेरा मदीना, तेरी चौखट मेरा मदीना। कहीं और न सजदा गवारा, कहीं और ना सजदा गवारा, कहीं और ना सजदा गवारा। असां ते तैनू रब मन्निया, कहीं और ना सजदा गवारा। असां ते तैनू रब मन्निया, कहीं और ना सजदा गवारा। असां ते तैनू रब मन्निया, कहीं और ना सजदा गवारा। असां ते तैनू रब मन्निया। कोई काशी कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई काशी कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई काशी कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई काशी कोई मक्के जांदा। कोई मक्के जांदा, 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 कोई मक्के जांदा। कोई काशी कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई कहंदा रब काशी च है, कोई कहंदा मक्के है। हजरत पीर बाबा बुल्ले शाह साहब की कहंदे हैं कि है किथे भुलेखे बहुत पाउंदा, जिथे दसदा है उथे वसदा नहीं, जिथे दसदा है उथे वसदा नहीं। किड्डी 420 वाली बात हुई, जिथे दसदा है उथे वसदा नहीं, किड्डी 420 वाली बात हुई। असी मिलन गए उन्हों विच काबे, साडी उथे भी ना मुलाकात हुई। असी मिलन गए उन्हों विच काबे, साडी उथे भी ना मुलाकात हुई। ओए जदों लब्बा ते अपने ही घरों लब्बा, जदों लब्बा ते अपने ही घरों लब्बा। मेहरबान जद मुर्शद दी जात होई। कोई मर के जांदा, कोई मर के जांदा, कोई मर के जांदा, कोई मर के जांदा, कोई मक्के गया। हजरत पीर बाबा बुल्ले शाह साहब कहंदे मक्के गया गल मुकदी नहीं, भावें 100 जुम्मे पढ़ आइए। मक्के गया गल मुकदी नहीं, भावें 100 जुम्मे पढ़ आइए। गंगा गया गल मुकदी नहीं, भावें 100 गोते लाए। गया गया गल मुकदी नहीं, गया गया गल मुकदी नहीं, गया गया गल मुकदी नहीं। भावें 100 पिंड पढ़ आइए। ओ बुल्ले शाह गल ताइयों मुकदी, बुल्ले शाह गल ताइयों मुकदी, बुल्ले शाह गल ताइयों मुकदी। जे मैनू दिलों मुकाए कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई मक्के ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਮੰਨਣਾ ਹੈ। ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਖੂਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਲਟੇ ਲਟਕ ਕੇ ਮਿਲਿਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਐਵੇਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹਜ਼ਰਤ ਪੀਰ ਬਾਬਾ ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਮੁਰਸ਼ਦ ਮਿਲਿਆ, ਉਹਨੇ ਐਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਜਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਾਇਆ। ਉਹ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਰੱਬ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਨਾਤੇ ਧੋਤੇ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਡੱਡੂਆਂ ਮੱਛੀਆਂ, ਜੇ ਰੱਬ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਰੱਬ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਨਾਤੇ ਧੋਤੇ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਡੱਡੂਆਂ ਮੱਛੀਆਂ, ਜੇ ਰੱਬ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਜੰਗਲ ਵੇਲੇ ਤੇ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਗਊਆਂ ਵੱਛੀਆਂ, ਜੇ ਰੱਬ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਜੰਗਲ ਵੇਲੇ ਤੇ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਗਊਆਂ ਵੱਛੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਰੱਬ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ, ਉਹ ਨੀਤਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਅੱਛੀਆਂ, ਕੋਈ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ, 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 ਕੋਈ ਮਰ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਟੋਪੀ ਤੇ ਨੀਅਤ ਖੋਟੀ, ਲੈਣਾ ਕੀ ਟੋਪੀ ਸਿਰ ਧਰ ਕੇ। आज मैं डाल के देखूं केशव भाई, आज मैं डाल के देखूं कैसा लगता हूं, मेरे बाल खराब हो जाएंगे। फिर नेक्स्ट टाइम फिर डालेंगे जरूर। फिर मैं ये नहीं कह सकता ना सिर ते टोपी नीयत खोटी खुद ही टोपी डाल के बात बड़ी बारीक याद आई कि सर पे टोपी हो, लेकिन पापा जी कहते हैं पंजाबी च बेटा किसी ने टोपी पाई ना, ये बड़ी बड़ी गल है। हजरत पीर बाबा बुल्ले शाह लिखते कहते, सिर ते टोपी ते नीयत खोटी, सिर ते टोपी ते नीयत खोटी, लेना की टोपी सिर धर के, चिल्ले कीते ते रब ना मिलिया, लेना की चिल्लियां विच वड़ के, तस्बीह फेरी माला फेरी तेरा दिल ना फिरिया, ते लेना की माला हथ फड़ के, बुलिया जाग बिना दुध नहीं जमदा, दुध नहीं जमदा, जाग बिना दुध नहीं जमदा, भावे लाल होवे कण कण के, कोई मर के जांदा, 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 कोई काशी कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई काशी कोई मक्के जांदा, कोई कुंभ विच जा थके खांदा, कोई कुंभ विच जा थके खांदा, कोई कुंभ विच जा थके खांदा, पाया जग तू, पाया जग तू, पाया जग तू भुलेखे विच सारा, पाया जग तू भुलेखे विच सारा, पाया जग तू भुलेखे विच सारा, असां ते तैनू रब मने, पाया जग तू भुलेखे विच सारा, असां ते तैनू रब मने, पाया जग तू भुलेखे विच सारा, असां ते तैनू रब मने, दस होर केड़ा रब दा दुबारा, असां ते तैनू रब मने, तू माने या ना माने दिलदारा, असां ते तैनू रब मने, माने या ना माने दिलदारा, असां ते तैनू रब मने, 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 थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक यू। जीते रहें आप, जीते रहें। फरमाइश ना बहुत 3-4 लिख के भेज दिया इकट्ठियां ही, फिर जगराता करना पेगा। भाजी ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਫਰਮਾਇਸ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ, ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਕਦੀ। ਅੱਜ ਇੱਕ ਲਾਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਮਾ ਦਮ ਮਸਤ ਕਲੰਦਰ ਸੁਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਹੋ ਲਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ, ਹੋ ਲਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ, ਲਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਪਤ ਰੱਖੀਓ ਭਲਾ ਝੂਲੇ ਲਾਲਣ, ਸਿੰਧੜੀ ਦਾ ਸੇਵਨ ਦਾ, ਸੇਵਨ ਦਾ ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਹੱਕ ਦਮਾਦਮ ਮਸਤ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਮ ਦਮ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਨੰਬਰ, ਦਮਾਦਮ ਮਸਤ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਮ ਦਮ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਨੰਬਰ, ਦਮਾਦਮ ਮਸਤ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਮ ਦਮ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ। ਓ ਲਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਪਤ ਰੱਖੀਓ ਭਲਾ ਝੂਲੇ ਲਾਲਣ, ਓ ਲਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਪਤ ਰੱਖੀਓ ਭਲਾ ਝੂਲੇ ਲਾਲਣ, ਸਿੱਧੜੀ ਦਾ ਸੇਵਨ ਦਾ ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਹੱਕ ਦਮਾਦਮ ਮਸਤ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਮ ਦਮ ਦੇ ਅਲੀ ਅਲੀ ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਮ ਦਮ ਦੇ ਅਲੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਨੰਬਰ। ਓ ਮਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੀਰਾ ਪਛੜੇ ਦੇਣਾ, ਮਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੀਰਾ ਪਛੜੇ ਦੇਣਾ, ਮਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੀਰਾ ਪਛੜੇ ਦੇਣਾ, ਭੈਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਾਉਣਾ ਵੀਰ ਭਲਾ ਝੂਲੇ ਲਾਲਣ, ਓ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਾਉਣਾ ਵੀਰ ਭਲਾ ਝੂਲੇ ਲਾਲਣ, ਸਿੰਧੜੀ ਦਾ ਸੇਵਨ ਦਾ, ਸਿੰਧੜੀ ਦਾ ਸੇਵਨ ਦਾ ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਹੱਕ ਦਮਾਦਮ ਮਸਤ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਮ ਦਮ ਦੇ ਹੱਕ ਹੱਕ ਅਲੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਨੰਬਰ, ਹੱਕ 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 ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਅਲੀ ਦਮ ਦਮ ਦੇ ਅਲੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਨੰਬਰ, ਦਮਾਦਮ ਮਸਤ ਕਲੰਦਰ, ਸਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਜ਼ ਕਲੰਦਰ। ਓ ਉਚੜਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾ ਪੀਰਾ ਤੇਰਾ, ਉਚੜਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾ ਪੀਰਾ ਤੇਰਾ, ਉਚੜਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾ ਪੀਰਾ ਤੇਰਾ, ਉਚੜਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾ ਪੀਰਾ ਤੇਰਾ, ਉਚੜਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾ 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 ਤੇਰਾ, ਉਚੜਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾ, ਉਚੜਾ ਰੋਜ਼ਾ ਤੇਰਾ, 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 ਤੇਰਾ उजड़ा रोजा पीरा तेरा, उजड़ा रोजा पीरा तेरा, उजड़ा रोजा पीरा तेरा। ओ हेठ बगे दरिया भला झूले लाल, हेठ बगे दरिया भला झूले लाल, सिंधड़ी दा सेवन दा सखीशा बाज कलंदर, हक दमादम मस्त कलंदर, सखीशा दमादम दमादम। ओ दर तेरे ते पीरा नौबत बाजे, दर तेरे ते पीरा नौबत बाजे, नौबत बाजे। Thank you, sir. Thank you. ओ दर तेरे ते पीरा, दर तेरे ते पीरा नौबत बाजे, दर तेरे ते पीरा नौबत बाजे, दर तेरे ते पीरा नौबत बाजे। जिनके हाथ में मोबाइल नहीं है वो जरा मेरे साथ। सा नी रे गा सा सा, 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 सा नी रे गा सा पा पा मा मा गा गा रे रे दा रे रे दा रे रे, सा नी रे गा सा सा, सा नी रे गा रे गा रे गा, नी रे गा गा मा 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 दा 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 नी 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 नी, सा गा गा नी नी दा दा पा पा मा मा गा गा रे रे दा, सा 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 नी, सा नी रे गा सा, नी रे गा रे नी दा नी रे गा मा 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 पा 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 दा 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 नी 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 नी, सा गा 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 गा, सा नी रे गा 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 सा सा, नी रे गा सा सा, नी रे गा सा नी रे गा, ओ नाल बजे खड़ियाल भला झूले लालन, ओ नाल बजे खड़ियाल भला झूले लालन, दंदा कदा कदा, ओ दर तेरे ते पीरा नौबत बाजे, दर तेरे ते पीरा नौबत बाजे, नाल बजे खड़ियाल भला झूले लालन, ओ नाल बजे खड़ियाल भला झूले लालन, सिंधड़ी दा सेवन दा, सिंधड़ी दा सेवन दा सखीशा बाज कलंदर। थैंक यू सो मच। जीते रहें, ऊपर वाला आप सबकी उम्र दराज करे, आप सबको दिन दुगनी रात चौगनी तरक्की दे, बहुत सारी खुशियाँ, कामरानियाँ और दमादम मस्त कलंदर सखी शाबाश कलंदर, दमादम मस्त कलंदर सखी शाबाश कलंदर, दमादम मस्त कलंदर सखी शाबाश कलंदर, हक 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 दमादम मस्त कलंदर, दमादम 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 थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू। जीते रहें आप, खुश रहें। थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल, थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू, थैंक यू सो मच। रब ने चाहा फिर मिलेंगे, तब तक लिए रब रखा। थैंक यू वेरी मच, दाता ही दाता। थैंक यू,
थैंक यू। मैं चाहूंगी एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए। कैन वी हैव अ ह्यूज राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर मिस्टर लखविंदर वडाली जी। I hope that we all enjoyed the evening. I see the magic of music has taken over everyone. Mr. Jha, would you want to say?
After this, I have nothing to say. This is a lot of energy, lot of fun and frolic. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Can we give 3 cheers to this evening and to Burlington, India, everybody? Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Once again, a big thank you to Lakhwinder Wadali ji for making this evening so memorable for everyone. I see the love on the stage. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I, Garima, would like to thank each one of you for joining us this evening on behalf of Burlington, India. And I'd like to invite all of you for drinks and dinner. Please join us for dinner. So dinner is, once you exit the door, it's on the right side. Please help yourself. And let's connect over drinks and dinner now. Thank you. So as per Sir said, you know, I just did 3 cheers for Burlington. But Sir says we have to have 3 cheers for Burlington, everyone. Can we give it up one more time? Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you, thank you. This evening wouldn't have been possible without you all. Thank you very much for joining us. Please join for dinner. Like I said, we'll connect now over drinks and dinner. Thank you. So the drinks, ladies and gentlemen, are right at the back. We have a bar. And for the dinner, you please exit the main door and proceed towards the right side. Thank you.
Let's get it.